Welcome back, everybody, to the Friday night. No, not Friday night. Today's Saturday, right?
I don't know.
The Raiders Last podcast. That's Chris.
And that's Jeff over there somewhere. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. Good evening, everybody. How we doing tonight? Chris, how you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Okay. It was a long night last night.
No, before we get started, you got to do your promo.
Wife just took it to fill it for me.
Okay, we'll wait. Salute Raider family. Hey, what's going
on? So tonight we embark on the secondary of the history of the Raiders. So I'm from 1960 all the way up to the current times. So before we get into that, let's hit the chat. Do you want to control the chat tonight?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, go ahead.
Scroll up and get the first guy. All right. Salute to my boy, True Raider. Can you see that?
True Raider.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my man here. He's in the building.
What's up, bro?
Chad. This guy.
He said he was sick, so.
Yeah, I see he's not feeling good. Yeah, this guy, we'll go ahead and boot him out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Who else in the building? Sacktown. What's up, Sacktown Mike? It is Frank Weber. Always reliable Frank Weber. And, of course, Nav Man. He's always with us. What's up, Nav? L11.
What's up, L11? What's going on?
Who's in the building? Sorry, I had a little fault my throat there. It's Boy Radio. Salute. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Oh, nope, never mind. The all-powerful Raider Ben's in the building. What's up, Raider Ben? And then there's Rosetown, another one of our regulars, always showing up, always on time. What's up, Rosetown? Let's see. Pigs, my man. Where you been? I ain't seen in a while, Pigs.
What's up, Pigs?
Salute, brother. Let's see. And, of course.
I got it.
Oh, yeah. Wait, let me get this last guy here. Jason Downs, another regular, always with us. Thanks, Jason Downs. Marcus Banks, my man. Yes, sir. Let's see. Who else is in there? I think that's a roll call. No, there's another guy named Kevin. Kevin, welcome to the show. Go get Ramsey. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. What's in the building? I think that's it for now. All right, go ahead and do your promo.
Did you get Raider Nation too?
I didn't see his name. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry, Raider Nation. My bad. Salute to you. Special salute to you.
One fucking job. All right. So, yep. Dunkin' Donuts promo. Yep. Remember Dunkin' Donuts? Want to sponsor me? Go for it. Here it is. Thank you. Hold on. Okay. All right. So tonight's show is going to be on the secondary in the Raiders history. So we are going to start with the 60s to the 70s. Let's see. So, all right, Raider Nation, it's time to line them up. The legends, the hitters, the ball hawks, and yes, even the fucking busts that we've had on this team for the positions. These are the men who patrol the secondary in silver and black, decade by decade. So let's stop running this down. So in the 60s, it's labeled as the foundation and fair, basically. So one of the early ones that we had, and I'm sure some people are familiar with this gentleman, some may not, but Fred Williamson.
The Hammer.
You must remember him, Chris.
The Hammer.
Yep. And not only just because he was a cornerback for the Raiders, he actually was also in quite a few movies, too, through the years. He's in a lot of those cheesy 70s movies, too, though.
Hey, they wasn't cheesy. Those black exploitation movies, man. They weren't cheesy.
Well, you know what I mean. They were just, they were good movies.
They were C movies, B movies. They weren't like, blockbuster hits, but
no, yeah. I still think he was in From Dusk Till Dawn. I think it was in 96. The one with George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. But yeah, his nickname was the Hammer. Shit, just had it up. What did I do with it? And basically, he set the tone early with his physical play at cornerback. He was a hot hitter, too. Wasn't here for too long with us, but he was definitely one of the old school, hard-hitting type of cornerbacks that the team was basically built from.
Yeah, he was like one of the original hard-hitting DBs we had.
Yeah.
Like, he set the trend.
Yeah, he set that mode with where guys like Tatum took over at some point further on, a couple of years later once he was drafted. Because Fred Williamson came to us in 61. So 1960, it was the first year of the team. So, I mean, there's really nobody that stands out from that era, from that first year. 61, Fred Williamson. Now, he was here from 61 until
64.
64, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the next year to him.
The year I was born. There you go.
What, 61?
4.
Oh, 64. Let's see. Well, someone else just popped in, too.
Yeah, where's the flag just popped in? Salute.
Oh, what's up? Where's the flag? Latina Union, what's going on, man? Where's the flag? There he is. Where's the flag? What's up, brother? And then I don't know. Again, some of these guys you guys might not remember, which is why we're doing this, or might not know of them. Next one up is Tommy Morrow, one of the original safeties, solid, steady, reliable in the early AFL years. He was here. Where is he? Morrow. He came to us in 62, and he was here until 64.
Another guy.
As far as stats on these guys, like if you go back to Fred Williamson, this is back when he had 36 career interceptions, 479 yards and 2 TDs. But again, that's a collaboration of many years, a few years in the NFL. Not all of those with the Raiders, obviously, with those stats. Now, Tommy Morrow, let's see, he was more of a punt returner, but he did play in the secondary. He was a defensive back and punt return guy. Sorry, not punt return, punter. So he actually punted for us. He had 45 total punts.
Wow.
So, I mean, a lot of these guys were not big names in the 60s. It wasn't until Willie Brown got there before, we started to get these big name players that actually are really part of the Raider history. So after Tommy Morrow in the mid 70s, you had Warren Powers. I don't know if you remember him at all. See, a lot of these guys, I don't remember. I had to look up some more information on some of these guys.
We're talking mid 60s. You said 70, but yeah, mid 60s.
Yeah, sorry, 60s.
Yeah, Warren Powers.
Why is it not clicking? Click. Come on, God damn it.
You know, because I heard of Kent McClugan, but I didn't like he wasn't like a household name, you know. It was just that name, McClugan. It was like he was average.
What the hell? Did my shit just freeze? I can't click on anything right now. Son of a bitch. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I spent all this time putting this shit together, and now I can't even move.
Did Hammer deal with Cool 4? Yeah, I think he did. A Cool 485 commercial. I'm more than sure he did. Him and Billy D.
Oh, yeah, back then? Yeah. A lot of those guys were in those commercials.
Yeah. Salute, Angelo. I thought she was watching the fight right now.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, guys. My shit just kind of... There it is. Damn. Fuck, man. I was going good with that, too. Who was I on? Warren Powers?
Yeah, it was a Warren Powers in 66. Mid-66, 65 on until... Yes, last year was 1966.
I can't even move on my computer. I'm surprised I'm still in the show. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Just froze.
Yeah, I'm froze. Like my screen is like half. It's like half and half. You know, like almost as if you break your screen and it goes all fucking haywire. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at like half the page that I spent all day putting together, and then half of another website that I got up in the background, and I can't even move. I can't even get back to see the studio.
Did you want to start the session over? Or do you want
to? No, I mean I could probably try and do a quick reboot. I'll just leave the studio when it reboots. You stay in. It'll keep the show going. You won't have to restart it.
All right.
Yep, I'm gonna have to reboot.
Salute, Radio 73. What's going on? Welcome to the show.
I'll be right back, guys. Sorry.
Technical difficulties on Jeff's end, so it's going to reboot me right back. But anyway, I'll wait till he gets back before we start talking more about the DBs. Tennessee Raiders. That's what they tell you, to reboot your system. Turn it off, turn it back on again. Yeah, he's frozen in time right now. Anyway, so if Jeff get back, how's this guy Saturday going? Anybody barbecuing today? I know Jason Downs barbecued yesterday, I think. Was it yesterday, Jason Downs, or the day before? Solo now. Hey, what up? What up? Oh, yeah, beers and briskets. Yeah, that sounds good. Beers and brisket. I gotta make a brisket probably in a couple of weeks. Mr. Weber, you barbecuing tomorrow? What you gonna barbecue, man? What you put on the grill? Some beef ribs, tri-tip, brisket. What you got? We had a barbecue at Mom's house and had a Nerf war. Then that sounds like fun right there. A Nerf war. We used to have this water gun fights. We had to go fill up. Then when you start filling your water gun up, then you can get blasted by those what they call those things? Those super soakers. They just came out. Man, I hated those things. Pot roast and mashed potatoes with gravy. Sounds awesome. That really sounds good. Now, I like what Mr. Weber says here. Hot links and Italian sausage. Me, I love both of them. I love Italian sausage and hot links. Love both of them. Can't get enough. I got a freezer full of hot links and Italian sausages. But I'm not barking today because yesterday my wife made some chicken enchiladas, beans and stuff, and then I made me some pork fried rice with teriyaki chicken. So I'm not cooking today. I made enough just for 2 days. So today I'm to cook. Tomorrow I will be cooking. Don't know yet, but I'm gonna do some. Throw some on it. Might throw some on the grill. Tri-tip is a commodity in Tennessee. Weather has been a little weird today, so keeping a smoker right was like babysitting. Yeah.
All right. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Unfortunately, yes, I can see and hear you. Damn it.
All right, fine. I'll fucking leave. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the fuck happened. My computer's been on all goddamn day. It has been a little warm in here, so I don't know if maybe that has something.
Now, we're just talking about food, what they cooking today. So, and then.
Oh, you couldn't even keep it going?
Wow. I was waiting on you to finish where you left off at.
We left off with Warren Powers, I think. Yeah, Warren Powers. Had a short run, but gave the secondary solid depth during the mid-70s. 60s. Sorry.
Hey, I was waiting for you to get to Willie Brown because that's what I want to talk about. So he's up next. He's next up.
He's two players away.
No, he's only one.
There's two.
Oh, Warren Powers left in 66. Or he didn't play. Welcome to the show. Let's do the show. Salute, Mark. What are you talking about? Warren Powers was here at 66. I don't know when he left.
All right, let's try this again. Everything's back up now. I just wanted to jump back in the show. I'm pulling everything back up now. Unbelievable. I apologize, everybody. I am so sorry. It's Chris's fault.
Yeah, I told you don't buy that Gateway laptop, man.
Dude, it ain't a Gateway. Trust me. The amount of money I spent on this thing ought to just fucking. I ought to just be able to turn it on and it'd do everything for me.
You remember Gateways? They used to give out free computers if you sign up for, I forgot, some internet service. Like, oh my God, they charge you like $100 a month for the internet.
All right, so the next guy on the list is Dave Grayson.
With David, salute.
And he was with us. He had 48 total interceptions. He was with us from 65 until he was here for a little bit, till 1970.
Yeah.
So again, he's another one of those guys that's got that early career start with us in the 60s and helped build, the secondary to what it actually became in the 70s. Now the next guy on the list is pretty much everybody's favorite, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And who is it, Chris?
It has to be the Hall of Famer, Willie Brown.
Yes, it is. So he, obviously, as you just said, he's a Hall of Famer, lockdown corner. And he had that famous interception in the Super Bowl.
And I was there to see it.
Yes, you were, because you're old as dirt.
I'm older than dirt. Actually, I was before dirt was born. Dirt was invented.
Old Man Willie's the original wearer of 24, which everybody is familiar with. Obviously, Woodson wore it too, but the true number 24 with this team is and always will be Willie Brown.
Yeah, the original 24.
Did you? Yeah, I think you said you've met him, right? Did you ever meet him in person?
No, when we get to the 80s, I'll tell you who I met when they came to LA.
Because I've met Willie Brown. I met him in person here in Rhode Island, of all places. It was 2014 when the Raiders came here to play the Patriots. We found out from one of the guys in the club, the hotel they were staying at. So we went down there, about 4 or 5 of us, including my son and my wife. And I'm standing outside with my son, and I see this old black gentleman come walking out wearing Raiders hat and a tan suit, smoking a cigarette. And I'm standing with my kid, and I look over, I nudge him, and I whisper it because I don't want to say it too loud. I'm like, I think that's Willie Brown. He's like, no. I'm like, I'm telling you, I think it is. So we kind of do the old like shuffle a little bit further, that slow move towards someone,
Yeah,
so you
kind of
get a
like
better look.
just
Yeah,
ease over there, like
try not to be suspicious.
incognito, like just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get close enough. Now I get a real good look at him, and I nudge him again, but harder this time. I go, "That's him, that's him." So we go walking. I walk right over to him, and I'm like, Mr. Brown. He's like, "Hey, young man, how you doing?" So him and we shook hands, talked to him for a while. My son was asking him questions. And again, this is 2014, so everybody had cell phones at that point. Do you think I would take my phone out of my pocket and take a picture of us with him or a selfie with them?
Of
No,
course not. Why would you?
nope.
Didn't think about it.
I was just so starstruck and just in awe. I was like, didn't even think of it. Once you went inside and we went about our way, I'm like, fuck. Kid's like, what? I said, we never got a picture of him. Nobody's gonna believe us. He's like, oh, I'm your witness. I got you. I'm like, God damn it! I can't believe we didn't take a picture of him.
Well, I was the same way because when the Raiders out here, I never got autographs. I've seen a lot of them. I never got autographs. I didn't think about it. But you know what else? We know what Willie Brown's famous for, right? You know what else? When he announced the draft picks for the Raiders, he is famous for that. Make sure you tell your mothers Happy Mother's Day.
And if you notice, every year since he passed away and hasn't been doing it, whoever comes up for the Raiders to do it says that, because he saw it again this year with Wisniewski. He did the same thing, keeping that tradition going, which I absolutely love.
It was one draft, I forgot what year it was, when we had that fullback. I forgot his name. He did it too. Oh, what was his name? We might run chat. There's a fullback. They cut him or let him go. He went to Miami. What was his name? He did it too.
Richie. Was it Richie or
no?
No, I know you talk Ingold.
Ingold. Yeah, Ingold. There you go.
I know it was a recent. I do remember that.
Yeah, and so that's great that it still continues. They always say Willie Brown always had a tradition of saying, Happy Mother's Day on the draft.
Yeah. So Willie Brown got to us in 1967. Doesn't give info on when he was, like, what his draft info. That's the one thing I didn't see on here. It was like what.
Hey, Mobile.
It doesn't say. But he spent his entire career. Well, not his entire. He started with Denver in '63. He came over to us in '67. So even his time in Denver, he was good, but he didn't really shine until he got to us. He had like one really good year with Denver, and that was in '64. We had 9 interceptions for 140. But so he came to us in '67, and then he was a staple here. He was here until '78.
He was a mainstay here. He was like,
oh yeah,
you can't see the rest of Willie Brown.
You look up cornerback, in that era, or even to this day, still Willie Brown's name is going to be one of the first ones that comes up. I mean, the guy was true a Raider from start to finish.
Salute Diesel, welcome to our channel, brother. Yeah, but see, that's the synonymous of that number 24. You were at 24, so special players get to wear 24. But we'll get to those who shouldn't have worn it and those who deserve to wear it. But that's where really it came from.
Yep. And then in '69 is when he really got a true partner in that secondary. Is when he got George Atkinson. So partnered up back there with him at the cornerback, and then George Atkinson playing strong safety. I mean, that secondary, that's when they really started to blossom and really start to come into their own at that point. One of the original Soul Patrol members.
Yeah.
Again, another guy that was a fierce hitter. I mean, granted, still nobody was a hitter like Jack Tatum, which we'll get to in a second.
No, Atkinson actually will lay you out. He had no qualms. Yeah. He even said that one time in a podcast or something. He said, I just enjoy hitting people. That was my thing. I enjoy hitting people.
And he hated the Steelers.
Oh, my God.
There's a guy on the team that if he despised any team in the NFL. And see, people got to remember, in the 70s, the rivals really weren't like in the AFC West. It was the Steelers because the Steelers were always the team to beat, and so were we. So it was always that back and forth between the Steelers and the Raiders. You know, the Broncos sucked back then. You know,
Broncos were
The
trash.
Chargers were good. They were tough and everything, but we still always had the upper hand on them. The Steelers, man, they were just so
You
dominant
just
along
hate
with
it.
us in the '70s. Yeah, they fucking hated each other.
Yep, they did.
You know, they need to take into consideration the whole immaculate reception or deception.
Yeah, deception, exactly.
You know,
Oh, guess what? You mentioned the Broncos. Guess who shows up?
oh, here she is. What's up,
Hey,
Randy?
Randy. Anyway,
So in George Atkinson, he's obviously, he was a well-known Raider, obviously. He was drafted late though too. That's the thing. He was a 7th-round draft pick, so
Was
he
it
wasn't like
was it 7 or
Huh?
6? Maybe it was late. Was it 7 or 6?
seven. Seven. He was
Yeah.
190th pick overall.
Because them days they had like 14 rounds or 13 rounds in them days. So.
Yeah. The rounds were ridiculous back in the day, but there was also less teams in the league at that point too. So
Yeah,
that's the other thing. You know, and again, here's a guy that spent his entire career with the Raiders. His numbers were 30 interceptions with 448 return yards and 2 touchdowns. So it wasn't like the interceptions and the returns and touchdowns and shit. It was more along the lines of just the dominance back there with the way they impacted and hit people, and they were just ridiculous in that secondary in that era.
They
These guys couldn't get away with half the shit they did back then. Now
they made a point to make sure that the receivers did not come down the middle. That's their goal was. You know, you can go sideline where Willie Brown, the other guy, would pin you to the sideline, but come down the middle. That was Atkins' breeding ground. Feeding ground. He was a beast.
Yep. And then in '72 is when we got not '72. Sorry, '71 is when Jack Tatum came on the scene, and this is where we really started to excel in that secondary. As everybody knows, his nickname, the Assassin. You know, he was basically just a massive intimidator out there. And he was basically the true identity of the Raiders with that ferocity,
physical
intensity on the field was just insane. You know, like if you watch any shows on him or like documentaries or like NFL footage of him and they interview him and everything, his thing was he always made sure that when he hit a receiver or anybody that was going out for the ball, he made sure that they knew he was there, because the next time they came out towards him or were running a pattern in his direction, it made that receiver think like, oh shit, he's over there, and they would be more worried about where he was than trying to catch the ball. They would still fucking hit him even if they didn't catch the ball.
Yeah. What they call the receivers got alligator arms, where their arms were like this. Now they like this. They try to protect themselves.
They didn't want to get laid up, but they still.
They're always constantly looking for where is he.
And again, he was actually a 1st-round pick. He was number 19 overall in the '71 draft. His career was 37 interceptions for 736 yards, 0 TDs. Again, another guy that wasn't known for the stat line. He was
the
more
interceptions. He didn't do that.
He was the assassin for a reason, is why
I don't think he really cared. I don't think he really cared for the interceptions. He'll get them if he can, but his main goal was to knock the stuffing.
He wanted to hit people.
Yeah, he want to knock the ball come close to you. He's gonna knock the stuffing out. That's all. That's all he cared about.
Yeah.
Him and Atkinson. That's all they wanted to do.
And I lost my train of thought here.
Yeah, exactly. Intimidation, Frank. That's what they put. That's the way all about. Intimidation. Don't come down the middle no more. That's it.
And then after, so you think about what we had in that secondary for a few years here. So from where are we? From '71 until, hang on, getting to it, until
Damn.
70, the 77 season was the last season.
They were all together.
We had, at one point, we had Willie Brown, we had George Atkinson, and you had Jack Tatum. That was the Soul Patrol, those three guys.
Those three guys.
You had the three of them roaming that secondary. Who in their right mind would even want to go anywhere near these guys at that point?
I know. I could make a phone call quick and ask Lynn Swan. Hey, Lynn Swan. Do you remember playing the Raiders?
He always bitched about them. He always bitched about how dirty
because they cracked his skull a few times, man. I mean, not literally, but figuratively, they cracked his head.
Yep. The fourth guy that was part of that secondary was a gentleman named Skip Thomas. So during that era, those were your four guys back there. Now, Skip Thomas, he wasn't like a big name. He was just basically, I mean, how could you be a big name when you had those other three guys in the secondary during that era? I mean, you had to be phenomenal to even think you were going to outplay either one of those three. I mean, those guys were basically a league of their own.
He basically was just playing like a supporting cast. You were just, okay, just do your job where you are. So he wasn't expected to do much because those three guys just pretty much took the middle of the field out.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, obviously Willie Brown's in the Hall of Fame, so that was a no-brainer. The other two should be in also.
That Tatum won't.
Tatum will probably never make it.
Because of that Daryl Stingley incident, which I still say, like you said, it was a clean hit.
It was a clean hit. It was a preseason game. It was a clean hit. He didn't get penalized for it. There was no penalty. So it's like, how can you get pissed for something that wasn't even a penalty?
Right.
I don't get it.
It was just one of the freak accidents. It happens, common all the time. Sometimes, just slip and fall and you break your hip. I mean, it just happens.
So from the 77 to 78 season, this is where the secondary started to change up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So George Atkinson was gone. Willie Brown was gone. Mm-hmm. Tatum was still there. Tatum was still with the team for 2 more years. But 2 new guys stepped in. Really 3. One was Charlie Phillips. One was Monty Jackson. And the other one was our draft pick of Lester Hayes.
Go back to Monty Jackson. He was great. Yeah. He was good. It wasn't great, but he was good, and he don't get enough accolades for me. He did that.
And that's what they say on here too. Is he was fast, physical, and he was underrated. He was an underrated contributor to the 70s back secondary. So he just, again, look at who was on the team with him. He had Tatum and Haynes, Lester Hayes. Mm-hmm. It's like, look who's in that secondary with you. Yeah, so if we go to Monty Jackson, let me just bring up his stats again. Keep clicking on this stuff. Hopefully this shit doesn't freeze up on me again. If it does, I'm just going to go to bed. So Monty Jackson was a 2nd-round draft pick, number 28 overall. He had 23 interceptions, 289 return yards, and 3 touchdowns. He was with us until 81, and then 82, and then he finished off his career with the Rams. We got him in 78. He spent his first 3 years with the Rams.
Yeah.
So all those interceptions weren't necessarily just with us. But his last year with us, we were already in LA at that time. And now we go to Lester Hayes. Anybody that's a fan of the team from the late 70s on knows who the fuck Lester Hayes is. And he was a 5th rounder. He wasn't like a high draft pick. And again, it was another one of those guys that was taken late in the draft and just was a gem, basically. Granted, he was Mr. Stickum.
Yes, sir.
Anybody ever looks up, just Google him and then Google images of Lester Hayes from that era.
This shit was all brown.
You'll see like that yellowish brown shit
all over his jersey. Can you see his number?
Yeah. It was just ridiculous.
Who's this guy? Tom Cruise. All right, moderators, take care of that guy. And nobody's in my channel. That's fine.
Who is it?
I don't know, some Tom Cruise control, whatever that is.
No, he's on mine, I think. No, I can't tell now because we're both in the same.
Whatever he is. Moderators, take care of that. He's not doing anything bad, but if you say anything else, yeah. See, let's say play.
Yeah, so if you just Google Lester Hayes, look at the images of him. It was just nasty. He would actually have a sponge down the front of his pants that was just soaked in that stuff,
just dripping.
And he would just, like, the footballs couldn't even be used again after he touched them. Like if he got an interception or even touched the ball, the stuff was just ridiculous. It was all over the place. It was just nasty. Like you look at his hands and it was just caked. I don't know how long. That must have taken him hours to get that shit off of him.
There's one video they show of NFL film show, and they'll show him this to stand there, and this hand was just dripping down, dripping.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, wow.
Yep, it's so nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, Bolitnikov used that stuff too, though.
Did he?
But it was Lester Hayes was.
It wasn't as bad though. I don't think it was that bad.
No,
like I said, let's say you can see his number shirt. You can see his shirt number. Like
he had it on the outside of the front side on the front of his socks. It was you'd see it all over his pants from when he put his hands. Because remember how we used to get down in that position.
Yeah, the crouch. Yeah.
He'd be so low to the ground, and his hands would be in front of him like this. And I think that's why he kept moving his fingers. Because I think if he stopped moving his fingers,
they'd stuck together.
They'd be stuck in that position. He wouldn't be able to do anything. Because if you watch footage of him, he's always doing this all the time. He's always moving his fingers.
I'm trying to think what receiver was it. John Stallworth? I can't remember. One of them said, "I hated when he tackled me and get that crap all over me, man."
Oh yeah, it's like you're wearing fly paper.
Yeah. To the league, law bandit.
Yeah, and again, Lester Hayes was with us from '77 till '86, so he was here his entire career.
Yeah.
He made a few Pro Bowls, defensive player of the year.
Mm-hmm. He's Hall of Fame. Hayes Hall of Fame.
Michael Haynes is.
Hayes
is not.
He's not, right.
Yeah, should be.
I don't know why he's not there.
I know.
Okay.
So he was. They call him the Stickum King. That's what it was.
Yeah.
In 1980, he was a defensive player of the year, and he was one of those total shutdown type cornerbacks.
He was a definite lockdown.
He was. And then the next one that's of any significance is a gentleman named Mike Davis.
Mike Davis. I know him. I actually met him a few times.
Really?
Yeah. His cousin worked for one of the companies I worked for. Because the guy,
another guy that spent his entire career with the Raiders. Drafted him in '78. He was the second round, number 35 overall in the '77 draft. Nope, sorry. His last year he was with San Diego. I stand corrected. '87 he was with San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you met him?
Oh yeah, I think I knew his cousin. She said she said that was his cousin, but you know how some people are. Because I worked at the same company back in the day. So I met him, but I didn't meet him. You know what I mean? You say, "Hey, how you doing?" And boop, gone. So no, it's not a real good story.
And he was with us for 2 of the Super Bowls. He was there for both of the '80s. And then the next guy that's of any significance, where is he? God damn it. Where were we? 78. There's Davis. Burgess Owens. So Burgess Owens is. I'm sorry. I go back to Mike Davis real quick. I'm sorry. I forgot about this. I guess there was a famous interception in that playoff clutch game. It was the name of it was called Red Right 88. Was the play? You know how we always had games that had names or sayings to them, like the Sea of Hands, the Holy Roller, goes to the post, shit like that. I guess this is one of those, but it wasn't. It wasn't like a very well known one. But it is kind of one of those. It's called Red Right 88. I don't know the true story behind that as far as what that actually meant, but I do know that is one of the things that comes up about him too.
I don't remember. I gotta look that up. Red, what's
it was Red Right 88.
Red Right 88.
It was an interception. It was in a playoff game. And then obviously we're still in the 80s because there's a few in the 80s that were worth mentioning. Burgess Owens is another one. He was a steady presence at safety. He was a first-round draft pick by the Jets, number 13 overall in the 73 draft. We got him late in his career. We got him in 1980. So we got him. We got him. We only had him for 3 years. He was with us for 80, 81, and 82. His total numbers: he had 30 interceptions throughout his career, 4 touchdowns. 73 with the Jets. His most. Yeah, he was okay with us. He didn't really have a shit ton of stats with us.
No, like you said, he came late in the career, and he was one of the
key players on defense for the 1980 Super Bowl against the Eagles. Though.
And he was taking Tatum's place, and so that was a lot of shoes to fill. So he wasn't like
Yeah. And then we move on to Ted Watts. So Ted Watts. He was there for the 83 Super Bowl. So that was like his big claim to fame, was being there with us for that one. Yeah. He was another first rounder, 21st overall in the 81 draft. Didn't last long in the league. We drafted him in 81. 84 was his last year with us. Then 85, he went to the Giants. And then 87, he went to San Diego.
Yeah.
83 was the most games he played. He played 13 games in 83.
83, games played, yeah. It wasn't. He had a really stellar season with us. 1 interception.
Yeah, I mean, he was just one of like a notable player. I mean, he was part of the Super Bowl team. He had some to do with it. Basically, he wasn't like, you know what it is? During the 80s, we had very few good secondary guys. I mean, it was Lester Hayes and Mike Haynes pretty much the entire time, with a couple mixed in. The next one, everybody's going to know this one. Van McElroy. I mean, everybody knows this guy.
Everybody knows him.
Yeah.
He was a steady, constant, like a cap. What's it? I don't think he was captain, but he was a steady one, the leader of that secondary. He controlled that secondary.
Yeah. We drafted him in 1982. He was a third round pick, number 64 overall. At that point, we were already in LA. He was with us until 1990.
Yeah, he went to Seattle.
Yeah. He was on 2 different teams in 1990. Then he came back to us it was 1990 with us and then Seattle. So, did he even play with Seattle? Yeah, he did. He was in 10 games, but he didn't start any of them. His best years, he was a Pro Bowler and All-Pro in 1983.
He had 8 interceptions that year.
84 was a Pro Bowl. 8 interceptions.
Yeah. I remember that.
Another guy that was here for the Super Bowl with us, too.
Yeah.
Again, not a super career with him, stellar career, but again, a lot of it was that intimidation still. He was one of the last ones that was like that heavy hitter in that secondary. Now this next one is as far as I'm concerned, I like him out of all the corners we've had. I think he was by far, hands down, the best, other than Willie Brown, and that's Michael Haynes. Michael Haynes was unbelievable. You talk about a shutdown corner, and then the fact that he was paired with Lester Hayes at that point. I mean, the two of them were just ridiculous during that time frame.
I'm gonna tell you about Michael Haynes. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Good.
That year, the Super Bowl. There's a big building, right? You can see it. It's right across the street from USC. You can see it. It's like maybe 20 stories tall. And his picture, when it's famous, like he's down looking at you, intimidation look. His picture's on that thing. All 20. This like almost all 20 stories. I wish I had got a picture of that. Of course, we had cell phones back then, but his picture was on that. Mike Haynes, not the quarterback, not the running back. Mike Haynes was on there, and it said intimidation. That's how good he was.
Yeah, he spent time, and obviously everybody that knows about him. We acquired him from the New England Patriots because he already had a stellar career with the Patriots, and then we ended up getting him in 1984. Come on, man!
Still slowing down.
Yeah. Oh, damn it! I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing today. Yeah, because he was drafted in '76 by the Patriots. He was with them until '82 was his last year with them, and he was with us from '83 till 1989. While he was with us, he went to 4 Pro Bowls. He's 3-time All-Pro. When he was with New England, he was Defensive Rookie of the Year his rookie year.
Yeah,
he was an All-Pro his rookie year. He was a Pro Bowler his rookie year. So even with the Patriots, so in total he has 1, 2, 3, 4. He had 5 Pro Bowls with New England, 5 APs, a Defensive Rookie of the Year. Actually, he had 6. I take that back. He had 6 Pro Bowls, 6 All Pros with the Patriots. He had 3 Pro Bowls with us, 2 APs with us. He was just, and it wasn't the interceptions. I mean, his career interceptions, it's still a good number, 46.
Okay,
688 yards. It was just that quarterbacks weren't thrown this way because they were just shutdowns, him and Lester Hayes.
In 1980, the guy had a career of a career. That's why he's in the Pro Bowl. He had 13 INTs, and he was a Defensive Player of the Year in 1980 with the Raiders. 13 interceptions. That's unheard of back then. 13 INTs. One interception for a touchdown. 62 yards.
No, he had 1 interception.
In
13 games.
1980. Look it up.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
I'm looking at it too. 1980. He had 13 interceptions. Not 13 games. He played in all 16.
Out of 12. I show 1 interception.
Nope. Only 1 year he had 1 interception, and that was 1984. That's the only year he had all in 1977 with us. But all
Are you sure you're looking at the right guy? Mike Haynes?
Yeah.
That's not what I'm showing.
Oh, no. You know what? Oh, that's Lester Hayes. Okay, I got the Hayes and Haynes. That was Lester Hayes. I got the wrong guy. My bad. Because the Haynes and Hayes always confuse me.
Because in 1984 he had 6 and he had 224 yard return yards, 1 touchdown for 97 yards.
That's Lester Hayes.
That's why he had 220 that.
Mike Haynes. Yeah, I clicked the wrong guy. I'm like, wait a minute. What are you looking at? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong guy. My bad. But yeah. Haynes and Hayes. I need new glasses.
Way to go.
I just blew that apart. There we go. Get the right guy. There it is. No. There he is. All right. Now I see you. Oh, hey, you know what?
I see Frankie even caught you. Frankie even caught it. I'm looking at Mike Haynes. I'm like, I only see 1 interception that year. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I had the wrong guy pulled up. But you know what? It didn't matter. They both played well. But I tell you, that defense was locked down. Nobody's getting anything past them. No. Let's see.
So at that point, you had Mike Haynes, you had Lester Hayes, you had Van McElroy, Mike Davis during that time frame, and then in '87, right? Is that the guy? Yeah, Lionel Washington was just another one of those dependable coverage type guys. He was drafted by the Cardinals in the 4th round in 1983, 103rd overall. He was with St. Louis from 83 to 86. Then we had him from 87 to 94. Then he went to Denver for 2 years, and then we got him back for his last year, which was in 97.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he came
decent stats for. I mean, he was definitely a contributor with the team. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
He had 37 interceptions, 418 return yards, and 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, again, another one of those. We always had good coverage guys from this, you know, the 70s on through the 80s.
Yeah, we did.
You know, there's an error in here where we're going to get to it, and it's not that great. So that pretty much rounds out the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Just double check, make sure I didn't miss anybody.
You talk about Ron Fellows that 1 year you had with us.
Who?
I'm just looking at Ron Fellows. Yeah, 1 year. Well, he played. He started 1 year, so I don't even remember his. I see it. Say, wait, I don't remember this guy.
All right, so now we're into the 1990s. So in the 1990s, to start off, we had Terry McDaniel actually came over in '89, but you had Terry McDaniel, you had Lionel Washington, Mike Harden, and Eddie Anderson. So those were the start of our 80s era linebackers. Terry McDaniels, obviously, he was a speedy guy. He was kind of a
wait. Back up. You said 80s linebacker. It's 90s DB.
90s, sorry, 90s. 90s. He had 5 Pro Bowls during his time with us. Now, as far as his time frame with us, let's see, 35 interceptions, 667 return yards, and 6 touchdowns. He was drafted in the 1st round, number 9 overall. Spent his entire career with us until '98. He went to Seattle for 1 year. And he pretty much started 16 games, except for 3 seasons. He started 15 and 12 out of those 16 games. So he still had a pretty long career. So again, it was 5 Pro Bowls and 2 All Pros, 2nd team All Pros. So another guy that was, in that line of great secondary guys, and an early draft pick too. So he was here with us for a little while.
Yeah.
Definitely a rememberable guy. A little underrated. Yeah, I think so. Don't think he really got the respect that he deserved while he was here with us. He was definitely a much better player than what the stats tend to say. Well, I haven't updated this at all. I'm going to move up to the 1990s. I'm not even looking at the screen. I'm in the background moving around, looking through shit, trying to make sure I got all the right infos and pulling everything up.
Yeah, he didn't get really that much notoriety and credit.
Nah. So, and then part of that group, like I said, was Eddie Anderson was in that.
Yeah.
In 1990, though, is when we picked up Ronnie Lott. And so Ronnie Lott was here for, let me see, how many years was he in here with us? And again, we got him when he was a little bit past his prime already, but he was still Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, he's still physical, still hit hard. Him and Anderson when that backfield was pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Not as it was in the 70s, but they were still pretty dangerous.
Yeah. So we had him for 2 years. We got him in 91 and 92 season. And even in 91, he was Pro Bowl, All Pro, 1st team, Defensive Player of the Year. So he was still he was the fourth ranked Defensive Player of the Year, I believe is what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Right. These stat info is a little wonky. Player of the year, where are you? Yeah, he actually got. I think he got 2 votes for MVP that year too. It says,
Did he?
and that was way late in his career. So it was San Fran all that time with us for 2 years, and then obviously everybody knows he finished off with the Jets.
Yeah.
And then obviously the interesting fact that I'm sure everybody pretty much knows about him is this whole finger thing.
Yeah, got it cut off. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was in the middle of a game too.
Yeah.
Let's see, and again, another guy was a Hall of Famer. Um, Again, 2 years with us. I mean, he came in at a bad time for us. I mean, we were
We were not really that good.
no. I mean, again, we're talking in the '90s here, where we were kind of like doing this every year. It seemed like.
Yeah, that's when they just moved back to Oakland too,
Yeah,
91.
I mean, the whole reason we brought him in was just basically the veteran presence, and he still hit like a ton of bricks, though.
Yeah, he still played hard, but he wasn't the same Mario Landa he was with the Niners. So
Yeah,
you know.
and then the next one in the '90s, no, that was kind of worth anything was Eric Turner. You know, another guy that was a big time talent. You know, he made plays all over the field. I absolutely hate my computer tonight. I don't know why this is doing this to me. It just keeps fucking freezing up on me.
Huh.
All right, there it is. It's free now. Good Lord. All right, so he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, first round, number 2 overall. He was with Cleveland. This is pissing me off. From 91 until 95, and he was part of that transition when they moved from the Cleveland Browns to Baltimore.
Yeah.
So in 96, they made that flip flop from Cleveland to Baltimore in the middle of the night. They shipped out.
Yeah.
Then in 97, 98, and 99, he was with us. Another guy that, didn't get any accolades or awards with us. He was a defensive rookie of the year in 91. His Pro Bowls and all pros were when he was still at Cleveland and Baltimore. So he was okay with us. What do you have? 2, 3. He had 5. 6, he had 8 interceptions with us. One of them was for a touchdown. So again, it's just who the player was, and unfortunately, he passed away in 2000 at the age of 31.
Oh yeah, that's right. The thing is kind of hard to after we were so accustomed to having that devastating backfield with Haynes and Tatum and all that stuff.
And that's why everything after that.
These guys are kind of like, you expect, okay, those guys retired, they left football, went to other teams. Yeah. And you can replace those guys. And that's what everybody was expecting. Okay, this is the new Michael Haynes. No, he's not. He's somebody different. And that's what everybody they get used to. That's why they get that notoriety.
Fuck, man. I hate my life tonight.
Because the next we were bet the next batch of years, man. It's
Well, again, we're still on that kind of like up and down. The next name that pops up is James Trapp. He was a speedy guy, played outside and in the nickel. He was another physical, flexible type guy. Wasn't a superstar, but again, he was here. It was a 3rd round pick for us. he was with us from 93 until 98, and then he went to Baltimore, and then his final year was with Jacksonville. Um, Again, he wasn't a superstar. He had 9 interceptions in his entire career. Again, it's just one of those.
Only thing I remember about
We were
James
kind of
Trapp.
lackluster in that era too. Like
Only thing I remember about James Trapp, for as fast as he was, he got burned up quite often.
Yeah.
Dude, you supposed to be one of the fastest guys on the team. How come the receiver getting past you again for a touchdown? That's one thing I remember about James Trapp. I don't remember anything with interception or nothing. I remember getting burned a few times. Like, Jesus. But
and then after Trapp should be Eric Allen, right? Yes, Eric Allen. Eric Allen and Charles Woodson in '98. So Eric Allen came in as a veteran with us because he spent a lot of time with Philly, some time with New Orleans, and then he finished off his career with us. So Eric Allen came into the league in 1988, drafted by Philadelphia, number 196th overall. Again, from 88 until 94, he was with Philly. Then 95 to 97, he was with New Orleans. And then we had him from 98 until 2001. Again, he had a lot of Pro Bowls and All Pros, but they were all with Philly. One with New Orleans. So, I mean, we definitely caught him on the downside, but man, he was still good even when he was.
He was. But what he was his experience and his veteran presence taught a lot of the D-back connections, especially the guy coming up next, Charles Woodson. And shout out to Eric Allen for making the Hall of Fame.
Yes, I was just going to say that too. And he just made the Hall of Fame this year. So, another Raider going in, even though he wasn't really a Raider from day one. But it doesn't matter.
A Raider? Once a Raider?
Still a Raider.
Always a Raider.
Once a Raider, always a Raider.
So
and then the big name.
Now
the big man. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of some of these guys. So now we're at Charles Woodson. Who we drafted first overall in 1998, was our first pick in that draft. His career interceptions, 65 for 966 yards and 11 touchdowns. I didn't bother bringing up Ronnie Lott's stats because he was only with us for 2 years. Much so.
All
those stats for him were all with other teams. Woodson spent a majority of his career with us.
But that was the key. That was the key to Woodson's career was who? Eric Allen. Eric Allen was that veteran. He didn't want to help Woodson out.
Yeah. So we had Woodson from 98 until 2005. Then he went to Green Bay.
Boo.
Won a fucking Super Bowl with them.
Yeah, boo.
Until 2012, and then he came back to Oakland from 2013 to 2015 to finish out his career with the Raiders and go into the Hall of Fame as a Raider. Yep. And he's got a shit ton of Pro Bowls. So he's got 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, I'm looking at the list.
He's got 5 Pro Bowls with us, 4 with Green Bay, Defensive Rookie of the Year with us, Defensive Player of the Year with Green Bay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 overall, 8 overall All Pros.
Yeah.
So I mean, you talk about a guy that was
got trophy room with so many trophies.
Huh?
I said he had to have a big trophy room because he got a lot of awards, man.
Shit, yeah.
He racked them up.
And he was what do you call it?
Versatile?
No. He was durable. You know, he got injured in the Super Bowl. He was durable. I mean, he played 254 games. That's a lot.
A lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guy wasn't afraid to tackle neither. That's one thing I liked about too. He tackled.
No, he was another guy that was a hard hitter, you know.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, he's 6'1". I mean, 6'1" corner. I mean, he wasn't like super tall. You know, I mean, he made an instant impact on this team when we picked him up. You know, when we drafted him. I mean, you know, he won a national championship with Michigan. Or he won the Rose Bowl with Michigan back when bowl games actually meant something, unlike they do now. Because
exactly. That's when that's they
there's
had.
like
They
50,
only had
60 bowl games now. Back then it was like 4 or 5, and that was
yeah,
it.
there were 4 or 5 major bowl games and maybe like 7
Yeah,
minor ones. But now it's like
you know,
about
it was
110.
it was a big deal to win the freaking, the Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl
You know,
kills the Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl. Those were the
yeah,
big bowls. Anything else was like just like sub bowl, like Christmas Day Bowl and all that stuff, but they didn't mean nothing. Those 4 bowls meant something.
yeah. And again, he played both corner and he played safety, and he was also used on the offense too. More so in college, he was used on the offensive side, catching passes.
And punt
Um,
return.
but
Yeah.
he did do it for us too. I mean, not on a consistent basis, but when he did, it was always a treat to get to see him out there, on the receiver side of things.
There was a punt return too for a little bit. Not
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Have you been putting chat stuff up? Because I'm not even looking.
Yeah, I'm putting up. People just commenting. I'm just good.
Because I can't even see anything. So
Yeah, I'm putting them up.
because I'm just going through my list and not bouncing back and
Yeah,
forth.
I'll take care. I got chat. I'll take care. I'm just looking at whoever come in.
So I mean, again, Woodson was basically in a league of his own. There's no two ways about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was the GOAT as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, yeah, it was.
Tom Brady's a dick, but he was the GOAT. And it was definitely a fucking fumble. That's the other thing too with that game. That was ridiculous. That should have been the year that we should have gone to the Super Bowl, and he would have gotten the Super Bowl with the Raiders. Would have been.
We would have 4 trophies right
We
now.
would have won that Super Bowl that year for sure.
We would have 4 trophies right now.
Yeah, we definitely. We probably would have had more, to be honest with you. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was during Gruden's heyday with us when we were really good.
Yeah.
With that offense that we had, one stupid ass fucking bad call on a rule that hasn't been called since,
And they took it out.
Yeah, and now they don't even it's not even a real rule.
You know, AR's in the building, right? I don't know if you saw that now.
What was that?
AR's in the building.
Is he?
Yeah, you've been there for a while.
Okay, sorry, buddy.
I know you probably can't see it, so.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not even on that. I'm using a different monitor right now. I'm not even looking at it. Yeah, I mean, just think of it. The 2000s, you had Woodson, then you had Charles Woodson, you had Rod Woodson, you had Buchanan, you had Nnamdi. Those are the guys that were like kind of like top dogs. We had some busts, which we're gonna get to.
Yeah, it's coming up real quick.
Yeah, Rod Woodson, now again, a longtime Steeler. We only had him for a very short time frame, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I didn't like Rod Woodson coming here. I got like, why?
We had him for 2 years. We had him 2 seasons.
Yeah, I was like, no. But he was serviceable. He did what he did, but I wasn't impressed by that getting him over here.
Yeah,
he was the enemy still. The Steelers.
So in 2002, 2002, we had Charles Woodson and Rod Woodson, along with Torrey James and Derek Gibson. And then in 2003, we had Woodson, Gibson, and Philip Buchanan. So Buchanan was also one of our return specialists. Buchanan was drafted in the first round, number 17th overall. Wasn't with us for long.
We just talked about Eric Allen. Eric Allen. So yeah,
we started. Yeah,
I don't know if you came in late, but we already talked about Eric Allen already.
Yeah,
we mentioned.
We're not hitting all of them. We're trying to hit I'm trying to make sure we cover the good ones, and then the not so good ones that everybody still talks about to this day. That's the kind of the main focal point we're doing.
And those years are about to come up real quick. Oh, man. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, Buchanan wasn't here long. We drafted him in 2002. He was here for the 02, 03, and 04 season. and then he went to Houston. That time frame with us, he had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He had 11 interceptions with us in those 3 years. But he also had 4 touchdowns too on those. So I mean, he was okay, but
Yeah,
it didn't turn out to what we thought. I mean, just think if he would have hit as a first round pick in that secondary, you would have had him and Woodson playing opposite sides, and then you throw Rod Woodson in there too at that point. I mean, it always looked good on paper, but in reality, it wasn't that great. You know, it could have been so many different things. It really could have.
It didn't pan out like the way they thought it would. I thought it would too. I thought we have awesome secondary, but it didn't turn out the way we wanted. And now that started beginning to slide. But anyway, there's another guy on that list. What year are you in right now?
No, we're in the early 2000s right now.
Okay.
We're at we're at 2004. That's the season after they are.
I'm losing
first season without Rod Woodson, because now at that point we had Ray Buchanan, Philip Buchanan, Woodson, and Marquise Anderson.
Okay. Right here.
So 2005, which unfortunately was the year after we didn't have Woodson. This would have been something special here, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because in 2005 is when we got
Nnamdi Asomugha.
And we took him in the first round, number 31 overall in the 2003 draft. So if we could have kept Woodson, but again, it was the money issue. That's when rookie contracts were huge back then, and
they were outrageous.
They're not like they are now, where they're more team friendly. But if we could have had him and Nnamdi together, oh good God! I mean, you're talking about two of the best. Later, AR, man. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
If Nnamdi and Charles Woodson would have been able to play together, I couldn't even imagine what that would have been like.
That would remind me of the Mike Hayes situation. That would remind me.
That would probably be the closest to.
Yeah, to the closest.
I would have to agree with that. I mean, you're talking about one pure shutdown corner in Nnamdi.
Yeah, he's a lockdown. Nobody got past him.
No. And again, it was the scheme that we ran, the system we ran that made him so damn good. Once he went to Philly,
he does this career downhill quick.
Yeah.
Because they paid him a lot of money.
Yeah, it's funny too, because in his entire career he only had 15 interceptions, and I know a lot of people judge cornerbacks on how many interceptions they have. But what you really need to understand about cornerbacks is if a guy's got a low number of interceptions, guess what? And he's got a long career with a specific team, guess what? That means that quarterbacks aren't throwing the ball his way.
Exactly.
Because they know he's gonna knock it down or he's gonna intercept it. His best year with us was his third year in. He got 8 interceptions. He didn't have an interception for his first 3 seasons with us. And even after that, so he had 8 in 2006. Then he had 1, 1, 1, 0,
3.
And then he went to Philly. And he had 4 in total at Philly. So you look at his time with us, right? So one season he had 8 interceptions. The rest of his time with the Raiders, he either had 1 or 0 interceptions. And that was just because they didn't throw the ball his way.
People look at the stats. How many interceptions you get? Well, he's not getting targeted. So how can you get an interception when the quarterback is totally ignoring him? Even the play calling, they say don't throw his way, please. And then you also go at those pass breakouts. I look at those a lot. How many pass breakouts do you have when the ball does come his way? You can't necessarily pick the ball up every time, but the receiver can't catch it either. You got to look at those PBUs.
And I'll tell you this right now. I honestly believe that if he would have spent his entire career with us and we ran him in the same scheme that he was with when he was with us the whole time, he'd be a Hall of Famer because he was a pure shutdown corner.
Yeah,
he would have been a Hall of Famer even without a Super Bowl because his stat lines read a Hall of Famer, a true shutdown. And those 1 interceptions or the zeros that he's had, those were on full 16 games and starting 16 games. They weren't 16 games and he only started like 4 or 5. He started all those games for the most part, except his rookie year. He only started 1, and then 2004 he started 7. But all the other ones, he had 16 starts, 15, 15, 15, 16, 14, 15, 16. So he was out there playing. So it's not like he was sitting the bench for half of these games during the season.
Look at his accolades. Accolades actually came through us. All his accolades.
Yeah.
Accolades. Then he went to Philly. He get nothing. Nothing. So I want to go to show you that they used him wrong.
He honestly would have been a Hall of Famer without a doubt. I don't second guess that at all.
Exactly.
Fucking good.
Exactly. Now,
I think he was better than Darrell Revis, to be honest with you.
That's exactly what that man's saying right now. That's an ignore stat. How many targets his way, pass breakup, and pass defending? They are new stats, but that's why I judge off of these cornerbacks. How many interceptions you get? How many times the ball thrown his way? That's what you look at because we can't throw it his way.
And then another guy from that same era that came in a couple of season after him actually. Oh no, with him, Stuart Schweiger.
He has his own show too. Yeah, right.
Yeah. He was on. He was on with. Was he on the cage match?
I think he was.
With Savage and Asylum, I think.
Yeah, I think he was.
I know he was just on a show recently. He's more popular now, though, as a podcaster.
Yeah, he's funny.
Good. He was still good with us. It wasn't phenomenal, but then now we're in 2007, so now you're looking at guys like Michael Huff, Stanford Routt, Schweigert, Nnamdi. Those were your 4 guys back there. Michael Huff was another one that was projected to be like this superstar for us. The first rounder, 7th overall.
Big disappointment.
Yeah. Took him in 2006. He was with us until 2013. He ended up in 2013 with Baltimore and with Denver. So we let him go, and that's where he ended up. Again, another guy with 11 interceptions. Again, he played 16 games for us, except for one season he played 7. But he had 0 interceptions, 1, 0, 3, 3, 2. So, he was kind of another guy that was kind of like a shutdown, but yet never really fully turned into what we're kind of expecting. He was definitely underrated. I will say that.
We expected more out of him because, he was highly touted. He was talking about he out of college, he was this and that, But he was not a big disappointment, but he was a disappointment. You know what I mean?
Actually, I want to go back to Nnamdi real quick. There's a story I heard about Nnamdi. What's up, James Firpo? I'm back on the screen right now.
All right. I'm still doing a chat though.
Yeah, that's fine. With Nnamdi, when they were at when the Pro Bowl used to still be in Hawaii and Peyton Manning was there, obviously they were both on the same team together on the AFC side, and Archie Manning was there, and Peyton was introducing his dad to Nnamdi. I don't know if you ever heard this. But he introduced Nnamdi as the best cornerback he's ever played against. He goes,
really?
You don't throw to this guy. Basically, just was so enamored with how good Nnamdi was that, he's like, you just don't throw the ball to him.
He's going to throw it, yeah.
Yeah, he's a pure lockdown wide defensive back. You don't go anywhere near him with the ball because he's going to get it.
Yeah,
he was like a ghost. He was like a ghost out there. Quarterbacks avoided him, which is why he had so many years with 0 or 1 interception.
Salute Rafi and salute all eyes on G. Salute guys. Thanks for joining us,
guys.
Yeah. Yeah. When he left, I like why he let him go. I don't know if it was money. I don't remember the story, but I don't know if it was money issues or something happened.
Who, Nnamdi?
Yeah.
It was a contract dispute.
It was a contract dispute.
Agent, and we weren't going to offer him what he was looking for.
Yeah, that's when that's when Lakers were cheap. They didn't have any money at all. They had no money.
So after Nnamdi left in 2010, our secondary was Michael Huff, Tyvon Branch, Lito Shepard, and Stanford Rout.
Mm-hmm.
Eh,
Yeah, right.
eh, eh.
That's I say the slide's about to
Oh,
come.
I
Yeah.
forgot one. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot one. Holy shit. We
Who?
got to go back. We got to go back to.
Chris Johnson.
We got to go
The
back to.
Angelo Hall.
Yep. We got to go back to 2008.
Yeah, you did skip one. The Angelo Hall.
So D'Angelo Hall was the first round pick, number 8 overall
Mm-hmm.
in 2004 to the Atlanta Falcons. And we thought we were going to get one hell of a player in him when we got him in his his fifth year. In 2008, we got him.
Mm-hmm.
And he played, what did he play? Like a couple of games, 8 games for us? 8 games.
8 games, yeah.
He had 3
1 year.
interceptions, 31 yards. Then he had a fucking meltdown. And we dumped his ass. We just outright cut him.
They just said, let him go. He's like, bye, get out the building.
We were fucking gone, done. And,
yeah, he was the original meltdown guy before Woodson came in.
And he ended up going to the Redskins, and he spent the rest of his career with the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had some good years with them too, but that was just a horrible experiment with him. I really thought we were going to be good with him. You know, he came in, he was going to be, he was hyping himself so much that I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. Oh God, he was so bad for us.
Yeah, man. He tried to blame everybody else but himself. Like, dude.
If there's ever a player you should be able to get a refund for, it should be D'Angelo Hall. I think he goes down as the worst.
Wait. Did you say refund? Did you say refund?
A refund. If you ever could get a refund for a player, that's the guy you should have gotten a refund.
Salute SoCal. I said we should get I wish they would put that in place because you have your receipt, take it back to the store. It doesn't work. I want my money back.
That was, I don't think there was a Raider fan out there that wasn't excited about getting him because we got him at the prime. We got him in his prime. We got him 5 years in the league. He was happy. A top dog. He was playing great.
Because at that time we got him. Our secondary was kind of, a little up and down. Like, yeah, we need another player. And now, D'Angelo Hall. He got here like, what the hell did we do?
Here's who was on the team with him. Here's who was in the secondary. Yeah, D'Angelo Hall, Jabril Wilson, Hiram Eugene, and Nnamdi.
Yeah.
You would have thought him playing opposite of Nnamdi, like, oh, good God. All we're going to worry about is Jabril Wilson and Hiram. Making sure they can handle what they got to handle back there.
Yeah, we got 2 shutdown corners. I said we had 2 shutdown corners now.
Oh, God.
This guy had a total collapse.
That was so bad. That was so bad.
Yeah, I forgot. I said that D'Angelo Hall. I thought I was going to go back and mention, but yeah, that was like, what are we doing? Moment. And you know what? It's going to come up again because it can be plenty more in a minute.
Yeah. So now we've moved on now to the 2010s on 2010 to 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, you still had Nnamdi. We had Michael Huff, Tyvon Branch, and Chris Johnson. The next one of note, let's see. Who was the first one? Nnamdi's still there. Michael Huff. Yeah, we already talked about him, right? Did I cover him?
Yeah, we covered him. Like,
there he is. Okay.
We talked about him.
Okay, so it was pretty much almost the same crap from 2010 until 2013 when Charles Woodson came back. So in 2013 we had Woodson, Brandon Ross. I don't even remember that guy. Tracy Porter and Mike Jenkins. Those were our 4 secondary guys.
Who you don't remember?
Woodson at this point was now playing free safety.
Wait, what name did you say? Brandon who?
He wasn't playing corner.
Brandon Ross. You don't remember Brandon Ross?
Brandian Ross, Brandian.
You don't remember him?
No, I don't.
I don't either. That's what I said. Who? Oh man,
We only had him for a minute.
yeah, I was with this guy. Did he come from
So
somewhere
that's
else?
what I mean. Though that's how bad our secondary was at that time. Tracy Porter, second round pick by the Saints. We had him that 1 year. 2013 was the only time we had him.
I thought it'd be another guy that's gonna sew up the backfield. I mean the deep backs. But
Mike Jenkins. He was a first round pick by the Cowboys, number 25 overall. We had him in 2013 for 15 games, and then that was it. Then he went to Tampa. So, again, just all garbage.
Yeah.
And then in 2014, we still had Ross. We had Terrell Brown. And then we had DJ Hayden. Hayden.
You know we should have had? You know we should have had then that year? The guys who are quarterback for us now.
No.
He got drafted.
Oh, Geno Smith?
Yeah. He was drafted number 37. He got drafted, what? 6? When did he get drafted?
12th overall. DJ Hayden was in the first round, 12th overall.
12th overall.
Yep. And again, another guy that we had high hopes for. Obviously, you take him in the first round.
Yeah.
Had the potential flashes, but injuries derailed him. I mean, this guy just couldn't stay on the field.
Always hurt.
We just don't have luck sometimes with some of these first round picks. I mean, again, his stats are horrible. What's he got for interceptions? 1, 1, 1, 0. He had 3 interceptions. Really didn't play that many games for us. Just, ugh. Then he left us, went to Detroit for 1 season, then Jacksonville for 3, and then Washington, and then he was out of the league. He just left the league in 2021. So in 2021, he was still playing.
He was 8, 10 games, 60, 1 full season, and 11. So he only played 1 full season with us.
Yeah.
Hey, man, 2021. Oh, you can get you to
2015 wasn't any better. I mean, we still had Charles Woodson, still had Hayden, and we had David Emerson and TJ Carey.
That was another disappointment too, big time.
Yeah, 1, 2. We drafted him in 2014, 7th round. So really, how much is he a disappointment though? It was a 7th rounder.
Yeah, but
we had him for 4 years. Then he went to Cleveland, then Indy, then Carolina. He was more of a return guy though too.
Salute James Football, Beck over. We'll see next break.
Come back to work.
Yeah.
And then after 2015 was Woodson's last year with us. He retired. So 2016 is when we really start to just again.
They come to slide right here.
Yep. Yeah. Reggie Nelson, Carl Joseph, Sean Smith, David Emerson. Oh my God.
These are all Gruden picks too. Remember that?
Yeah. No, I don't even have anybody on the list until oh my God, until 2020. Because these guys were all, because TJ Carey was back again on 2017.
Right.
They had in 2018 we had Dan Worley, Gary and Connolly, Marcus Gilchrist, and Reggie Nelson.
Gary and Connolly was the only one that had some.
Well, it was a first rounder. We took him first round, number 24 overall. We only had him for 2 seasons.
Yeah, he had some respect, but like I said, he didn't last long with us.
No. His last year was in 2019. Why did he get injured or something, or did he just suck that bad?
Hey, you got a new person here I've never seen before. Hey, Jerome Montgomery, thanks a lot for the compliment, man. If you like what you see, subscribe to both our channels. Yeah, there's in the description below. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate that.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
So where was I here?
Jaron Conley, Worley.
Yeah, 20. All right, so yeah, that was 2018. 2019. Now you have again Darren Worley again, Travion Mullen, Carl Joseph, and Eric Harris. And
These
then
names don't.
2020 is the one that we all loved. Jonathan Abram.
Oh yeah.
Good old Johnny Abram. Again, another guy that likes to hit, like trying to be that big hitter, but
couldn't
never
cover
anybody.
Good
Wanted
tackle.
to lay that death hit on people.
Couldn't cover.
Yeah, but his other but he blew a lot of coverage though too, and his penalty issues because he do stupid shit.
Yeah,
you know he was.
I don't know how many
PIs
he got in one game in 1 year. I mean, he was like just PI.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
You know who he reminds me of, or who reminds me of him, who we don't have on the team anymore, is Jack Jones. He was Jack Jones before Jack Jones.
Okay.
It was the same type of thing.
Okay.
Try and do that knockout hit.
That
would do something stupid that would get you a personal foul penalty, cost your team 15 yards or a first down. That's what Abram did, and this is why Abram didn't last with us either. He only lasted 2 seasons.
He want that ESPN Sports Center that highlight reel. That's what he wanted.
He wanted the knockout hits to be.
He wanted the highlight reel. Like, look at that.
Who's he with right now?
I don't think he's with anybody right now. That's what I'm checking.
He was with New Orleans in 2020.
New Orleans. That's last time I checked, but I don't think it's anybody now. He might be still there.
Well, check this out, right? So he was with us in Oakland in 19. He was with us in 2020, 2021, 2022. And then in 2022, he was with 3 teams. He was with us, Green Bay, Seattle. 2023, he was with New Orleans.
Oh.
In 2024, last year, he was with New Orleans.
So he was on a team.
So he is still
active.
He's only 28, so he's got to still be playing.
I'm in the league 6 years, so I guess he might be still there. I don't know. I don't follow New Orleans.
He has to be. I can't imagine he's not going to be on a roster somewhere. So and then
thanks for dropping in and saying those encouraging words. Just came in to drop and say Raiders suck. You guys are cool though. That's all. Carry on, Joe, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, so now we're on to 2021. So now's where we're going to start seeing some more familiar faces or names that are basically majority not even here anymore.
I think
so in 2021, we have the secondary consisted of Brandon Faison, Casey Hayward, Jonathan Abram, and Trayvon Mooring. So Mooring, who obviously just left us.
He was a rookie, yeah.
Yeah. We drafted him in the 2nd round, number 43 overall. Spent 2021 to 2024 with us. People were 50-50 on whether they wanted him to stay with us or not.
I was more in the category I didn't want to pay him all that money because he'd been on his 4 years. He didn't get better to his 4th year and a half.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah. I'll give him a prove-it deal. But he was somebody else, so let him do what he got to do.
Yeah, he's with Carolina now. So he moved on to Carolina. I really didn't have a problem with him. He was all right.
Yeah.
Faison's gone. Hayward's gone. So in 2022, we still had Mooring. We had Nate Hobbs, Rock Ya-Sin. I remember him. And then Nate Hobbs. Yeah. So the notes on Trayvon Mooring is young safety with upside, good range, still finding his footing, but now with Carolina. Nate Hobbs, obviously gone. Tough, gritty nickel, late round gem, plays with heart and aggression.
Just couldn't stay on the field. That's the thing.
Now he's in Green Bay. Going to play majority of his season in cold ass weather.
Yeah, you couldn't stay.
And spend most of it in street clothes, standing on the sideline.
The most games he played in the season was 11 games. 11.
Yeah.
I mean, that won't cut it. So yeah, total of 4 years with us and played a total of 38 games in 4 years.
Yeah. And then in 2023, you had Amik Robertson, Marcus Peters, Marcus Epps, Trayvon Mooring, and Jacorian Bennett in the secondary. So Mooring's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Peters is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Amik
wait. You talking about Marcus Ole Peterson? I don't like to tackle people today.
Yeah, Marcus Peters.
Yeah, Mr. Ole himself, the Matador.
Yeah. And Marcus Epps is now in New England, so he's gone.
Meek Robinson.
Jacorian Bennett's the only one that's still here.
Yeah. Meek went to Detroit. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. They're both gone.
Yeah, Jacorian Bennett was a 4th-round pick for us. Was with us in 2023 and 2024. So,
well,
so that takes care of 2023. And then in 2024, this past season, we had Isaiah Palomau, Mooring, DeCamarion Richardson, and Jack Jones. So Mooring's gone, Jones is gone, Palomau we re-signed, Richardson's still here.
Mm-hmm.
So it still all remains to be seen what's going to pan out. Plus, we just drafted Porter as our
Darian Porter,
Darian Porter is our number 2 draft. No, number 3, 3rd round, right? Wasn't it 3rd round for him?
Yeah, 3rd round. Came out the back. Yeah.
3rd round pick for the corner. So we'll see where he fits into all this. You know.
Well, you got to remember,
who gets bumped, who gets moved around.
Gordon Benn's rookie year was a sham. It was like that big dummies there, and they threw him in there, and he was a rookie. And same thing happened to Cam Richardson. Because I think Bennett was hurt, and a couple other guys were hurt too, so they threw him in there, and he still learned. So I'm gonna give him this year, especially with Pete Carroll in the coaching staff. Pete Carroll's DB coach him up and see how he does. And not there's Darian Porter, and plus other guys picked up Stokes and other guys, but that's another story. So we'll see what he does in this year. But Jack Jones is gone. How do you feel about the Jack Jones leaving?
I don't miss him. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm fine with him being gone. I really am.
Yeah, I don't miss him. I won't miss him.
Nope.
Business decisions, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, whatever. Like you said, he won't make those splash plays like Abrams did. I gotta get that highlight. Yeah.
I'm just going through the list, see if there's any I missed with some notes on that I had. So 60s and 70s, we had Fred Williamson, Tommy Morrow, Warren Powers, Dave Grayson, Willie Brown, George Atkinson, Jack Tatum, Monty Jackson. That was the 60s to 70s. Just recapping for everybody. 1980s was Lester Hayes, Mike Davis, Burgess Owens, Ted Watts, Van McElroy, Mike Haynes, and Lionel Washington. 1990s was Terry McDaniel, Ronnie Lott, Eric Turner, James Trapp, Eric Allen. 2000s was Woodson, Buchanan, Huff, Asomugha, and D'Angelo Hall. And then 2010s to 2020s, Nate Hobbs, Mooring, Jonathan Abram, and DJ Hayden. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Those are all the more notable ones, to really good and the bad. So that's basically the roll call from the Hall of Fame to the highlight reels.
Yeah.
These defensive backs definitely helped define the Raiders football. Some broke jaws, some broke bones, broke hearts.
I would say between the 70s and 80s, that's when between 70s, I think that's where he had the better DBs, and Woodson too came later. But that between the 70s and 80s, that's when he had the best DBs in the NFL. the Haynes, the Hayes, and all those guys.
I'm
70
reading
to
the
90s.
paragraph I
To,
wrote, but you
to the 90s, I mean.
interrupted.
Torian. Who's
I was
Stacey
trying to
Torian?
read a paragraph I wrote, but you interrupted me.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Who's Torian?
So I'll pick up where I got interrupted. These defensive backs help define rate of football. Like I said, some broke jaws, some broke hearts, some broke bones, but all of them wore the shield, and that means something. So let's all raise a glass to these guys, the men who brought the pain in the secondary. Some, unfortunately, rest in peace and not with us. Jack Tatum has passed away. Eric Turner's gone. Willie Brown is gone. Jack Tatum, I wish would have gotten in before he passed away for sure. But I don't think he'll ever get in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think he will.
It sucks. It sucks that some of these guys that get in the Hall of Fame get in after they pass on. I hate that. Because everybody gets compared now to the stats of what's going on currently in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't compare some of these eras. Years ago, wide receivers like Largent, when he went in, if he were to play now and have the stats he's got now in today's NFL league, in the way the league's played now, he wouldn't make the Hall of Fame.
Mm.
Those stats wouldn't warrant it. Back then, teams were more running teams, so for him to have the stats he had at that point, that was pretty fucking good.
But you got to remember, back in those days, they didn't keep a lot of stats on a lot of things, so they didn't count PBUs and stuff like that for a while.
Yeah,
they started counting them recently.
I know Jason asked. Oh, here it is. So, who is the consensus all-time rate as defensive back? If you're going all-time as far as longevity, just overall play. I mean, I gotta give it to Willie Brown. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, Willie Brown, and then it'd be, but you got. It's hard to say because they all did different things.
So many really good ones. That's the tough part.
Yeah, they all did different things different ways because then you have the Hayes and the Haynes. They were locked down. Then you had the defensive backs like Tatum and those guys, and they just and Atkinson. They were just punishing. They wouldn't grade stats on interceptions and all that stuff, but they're punishing. So you got to in what style?
I think you got to almost look at it by era. Would be my thing, I guess I would have to say. So like Willie Brown in that 60s to 70s time frame, yes. In the 80s, it was Haynes and Hayes. And even if you go back into the 70s, you got to go with Tatum in there just because of players were afraid to go across the middle.
Yeah.
But for sure, pure shutdowns in the 80s, it's Haynes and Hayes. In the 90s, it kind of drops off a bit, I'd have to say.
It's all drop a little bit, yeah. Because we didn't have.
But in the 2000s, it's definitely Woodson and Nnamdi.
Yeah. Because in the 90s, we really didn't have a lockdown corner. They just played serviceable. They know, nobody big name.
Well, right. in the 2000s, it would be Woodson and Nnamdi. Like I said, if those two played together, oh good God,
yeah,
how awesome would that have been? That would have been just absolutely out of.
They couldn't throw the ball. They had to run the ball because they cannot throw it. Those guys would.
Yeah, Jason, right there. Those 80s teams, man, were just ridiculous with that secondary. Just Haynes and Hayes alone. I mean, those two guys there were just phenomenal.
Yeah. No passes on. Yeah, exactly.
So Jason's going to go less to Hayes. 1980, he was so dominant. 13 interceptions with 14 reversed on penalty. And my thing though too is how much. I mean, the interception wise, how much did the sticker really have to do with it too? I mean, seriously. I mean, that's like the ball. You have a ball in the glove that are the one's each part of the Velcro. You know, like your gloves got the plastic on and the ball's got the fuzzy stuff on it. You know, you throw the football and you catch it and it just sticks to the hand and doesn't move. It's kind of the same shit with the stickum.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Dixon Sider, what's up?
What's up, Dixon? Yeah, that's the other thing. Charles Woodson did have some of his best years in Green Bay versus with us. No, you're right. It didn't cause him to be in the right spot to make the plays, but he still had to out. He still had to get the ball away from the receiver, unless he was in front of the receiver and was able to,
Yeah, he said the stick was still
the ball with the player.
He said he said to stay with the receivers when he's running his routes and stuff. So he had to be there where the ball got there. So he still did his job.
Yeah. What's up, Rated Twan?
Hey, what's up, Rated Twan? So yeah, you can see.
That's what we were saying earlier, Dixon. When we got to Lester Hayes, I said, you Google Lester Hayes and click images, and the pictures, his uniforms. Could you imagine being the equipment manager for them back then?
Oh God,
I'd just be throwing the uniforms away and just saying, we just got to order abundance of uniforms for Lester Hayes because,
like I said,
we can't wash that shit out of him.
It was like once I forgot what receiver it was. He said, "Man, I hate it when he tackled me, man. I got stick all over my helmet and my face mask and everywhere. I hate it."
Yeah, UDA, it does. I mean, it's tough to really say how they're going to look until until practices start and we roll from there.
Well,
I'm excited. I'm excited for this.
Be honest with you, everybody look good on paper. But we get that on the field. That's the thing. So we'll see.
Yeah. What did Jason say? The stickum is more mental practice than practical. It was banned more because it damaged the balls. And the balls used to get the shit on it, and they couldn't even.
You see the referee. You see referees in the middle field wiping it off. Like, what the hell?
They couldn't even get it off.
They wouldn't even come off.
This shit was stuck to it, man. That shit was like that permanently.
That was funny as hell. Like I say, it's so crazy because you can see his numbers uniform. What number was he? 37, that thing? You couldn't even see it. All you can see is the back of his jersey.
Well, I remember Woodson's first game against KC. Risen caught a TD on him. They never caught a ball after that. I knew them. Woodson was amazing when he first came out, man.
It was awesome. He was awesome.
I miss the 80s teams, to be honest with you.
You know I do because they were to LA. Now I live in LA, so I miss it. So
I miss the 80s teams. The 70s, obviously, I was still fairly young to fully understand. I mean, I got the gist of what was going on with the team back then and, how nasty we were. It wasn't until the 80s, once I was a teenager and everything, and truly, truly appreciated, what the team was. And the fact that, they were in LA and we went to California twice, 2 years back to back. And we spent a lot of time in LA, so I was in heaven because they were Raiders. I was able to get Raiders stuff anywhere over there. Couldn't get that shit around here back then.
Well, I didn't come a Raider fan until the mid '70s, and then I had to go back in history and look at the guys, and I'm glad I came fan in because 4 years later they won Super Bowl. They won that year, and then 4 years later they won another Super Bowl. Then 4 years later they won another Super Bowl. So I was like, "Oh, we're gonna Super Bowl every 4 years. It's gonna be awesome." And that didn't play out. Well, I remember 1991. What, Jason Downs? I remember 1991 when Terry McDonald was shutting down Jerry Rice. He even knocked him out the game by cutting it. I don't remember that. But if you say it happened, I'll believe you, Jason.
I don't think the Raiders are going to take another shot at Ruggs. I think that's over with.
That's just a big story that they want to put out there to make headline news and clicks and everything else. That's all that is.
I don't want him back.
I don't think I don't think Pete Carroll's want to take a chance. You know, Pete Carroll give guys second chances, but something like that, I don't think so.
That's a tough one. I know he paid his, he did his time and everything. I get it,
But
yeah, I don't think Mark would be in favor of that either. I don't think Tom Brady would either, to be honest with you.
But somebody will. Some team are going to take a chance on him, and then he
That's
might
fine
play
as long as
good.
it's not us. I don't care where he goes, just not
Yeah.
to us. Am I afraid of him if he gets on one of the teams in our division? No,
No, not at all.
I'm not afraid of anybody on any of these other teams in our division. No one.
I'm never. This year, I'm not. Definitely, this year, I'm not worried about him now, like I was last year. Like,
Last year? Oh, hell yeah!
I was like, God damn.
Well, you know what? I take that back. Before the season started, I had high hopes. Everybody was filled with optimism based on, AP being the coach now, and the way everything ended at the end of the 2023 season. It felt good, like we were going to go somewhere, and then we're going to go shit. It was horrible.
Oh, well, that was the general manager and upper manager. That was all that shit. They messed everything up. Well, McDaniel started it. Now he finished it. Well, now let's see here or there. We'll see how this plays out. So I should like get that DB room like it was back in the 80s and 70s. I know it's going to be impossible to do that, but it'd be nice if you can't get that again.
Yeah. So everybody that's still in the chat, who's I'm just curious to see what people think. Okay. Who's your favorite cornerback, safety, or free safety? Just curious to see what you guys think. I'm willing to bet 90% of them going to say Willie Brown.
Willie Brown or Woodson.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson, that Rod.
Thanks, UDA. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
if you like
Dixon
us,
says Woodson.
If you like us, like and subscribe to both our channels, get notification, because me and this guy over here or over there, I don't know which way he's at. Sometimes we'll just pop in the middle of the day and do a live. So get the notification as well. It's Jack Tatum. I know Sacktown. Okay.
What's up, Sacktown? I didn't know he was even in here.
He's one of the first.
Again, I wasn't looking at the chat at all tonight because I had all the other screens up and running.
No. Charles Woodson. The consensus of Charles Woodson.
Yeah, so far we got 3 for Woodson, 1 for Willie,
1 for Jack.
Thank you, appreciate that, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yep.
Another Tatum.
Haynes. Yeah, there goes somebody. Where's the flag?
Yeah. All right, so it's a little more spread out than I thought it would be. I thought majority would say Woodson or Willie. I thought Willie would be the more popular one. He's only gotten 1 vote.
Woodson got the most so far. Hayes got 1. Tatum has 2.
Yeah.
So pretty much the guys we expected. Yeah. Can't tell with neither one of those guys. But can you imagine Tatum playing this league now and what the rules they got now? He'll been kicked off the NFL. He'll been kicked out of the NFL. The way
he'd be fined. He would be fined. So he wouldn't even make money. He'd be paying all fines.
No, he'll got like what that guy Burfect.
He'd be getting ejected from every game.
He'd be like that guy Burfect we had a couple years ago. That linebacker got kicked out of the NFL.
Yeah, Terry McDaniels was pretty badass. Michael Haynes was. I remember him more than anything because that's that 80s team. Mm-hmm. Him and Lester Hayes, but Michael Haynes, he was just. You know what it was? Because he was so fucking popular around here when I was a kid, with him being a Patriot before he came to us. So everybody knew who he was. A lot of Pats fans weren't crazy about losing him to us, but well. If Seawood doesn't go to Green Bay and redefine his career for that 6-year stretch, he doesn't make the Hall of Fame. Yeah, you're probably right, too. Well, he probably wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. Although, no, actually, he would have been here with Nnamdi. So we would have had a good shot. Damn, what could have been, huh? Fuck.
I know.
That would have been a tough salary cap to manage.
Yeah.
because those two guys would have demanded serious money.
Yeah, in them days, Raiders really didn't have that much money.
So Frank Weber says, I met and spent some quality time with both Jack and George, great guys and totally different off the field. Well, there was the thing I was watching about Tatum now where he said that, somebody was saying that when he puts that uniform, he's a totally different person. When he's not in uniform and, he's just Jack, he's just a really nice guy and everything. But once he gets on the field, it's like a switch. And that's how you had to be. I mean, you want to be aggressive and play football, you got to have that switch in your head that goes from, being a cool dude to like, I'm going to fucking rip your neck off,
Yeah. Look at dark quick. What the hell?
See, Michigan was my favorite school when I was growing up, and I was already a Charles Woodson fan before the Raiders drafted him. Yeah, everybody knew about him.
Who was that? Sorry, I was looking at someone.
Charles Woodson. That was the L11 saying that. Deshaun McQueen, what's up, man? We need a receiver. Yeah, I don't know. I think we might be all right. I mean, really, what's out there? Amari Cooper now?
Oh, here it is. Here's the picture I'm gonna share with you. I'm gonna show you what I was talking about.
Yeah, you can put it up yourself.
Yeah.
You forget you're in here sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, I get used to it. I gotta get used to it. What the heck? Why can't? Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see. Those men back then were about business, and their business was knocking fools out. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I agree, Jason. Definitely. I get to meet Lester Hayes once and talked for around 10 minutes. Great guy. I never met him.
Yeah, I mean, both. I didn't meet him. I saw them together, Michael Hayes and Haynes together in this little bar room. But I can't pull it up for some reason. It won't let me do it. Oh, I see why I can't do it. Yep, I can't do it. Whatever. It's on Reddit. It won't let me pull it. But anyway, it's a billboard. This is his famous pose when he's bent down.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a Nike. It's a Nike billboard.
So Deshaun says, well, what are we going to do about the secondary? Because that's the big problem for us. I don't know. I still think linebacker is the bigger problem still until we see what it looks like on the field. I think we're going to be okay in the secondary. I think we're going to be all right. And I'm saying that because our front line is just going to be so fucking nasty. It's not going to give quarterbacks aren't going to have time to hopefully they're not going to have time to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if Wilkins get better, I think that's why they drafted those other D tackles in the draft because
it's going to be a hell of a rotation.
We don't know if Wilson's going to be out for the whole season or just part of the season, but he still won't be healthy. Beginning of the season. Yeah, and Alan Butler did good last year. So
yeah.
And Kuntz coming back. We'll see how Kuntz do. Still had that same performance he had a couple of years ago. Hopefully he does. That's why I gave him a 1-year contract. See if he can do the same thing.
Do you have anything coming up?
I have a Sunday morning show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time with.
That's right, you and Jason, right?
Tomorrow morning 10. I don't know what topic. I think we're trying to get special guests in there. I'll find out later tonight. He hasn't hit me up yet. But it'll be tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, so everybody make sure you guys get over to Chris's channel. Chris 4 Raiders. He'll be on tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, with Raider Nation Jason. Make sure you hit the subscribe, thumbs up, notifications, especially the notifications, because a lot of times Chris and I just happen to pop on live during the day, during the week.
Yeah.
Make sure you, if you haven't subbed yet, make sure you sub to this one right here, 401_Rated Jeff. Um, same thing. Hit the subscription, notifications, the likes. I right now I don't have anything planned for tomorrow. Maybe a live stream playing online something. I don't know what yet. The only thing I got coming up this week is on Wednesday night. I got the Raider Connection show with myself, Leo, which is Cheeto Linus, LV Rated 10, and Jay, Just Raiders Baby. We have special guest Peggy Holmes will be on with us Wednesday night, and then Thursday night it's myself and LV Rated 10 on Raiders Coast to Coast. Both shows 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific.
Man,
he was at a Walmart in Roseville for a charity signing event. Sadly, I was the only one at his booth. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I know.
I met Lester at Kmart. He was rearranging the racks of clothes so he could give my girlfriend's kid coaching lessons for an hour. Great guy.
Nice.
Oh, Walmart in Roseville. Yeah, he was at the Modesta Kmart at one time. I used to run into him at the McHenry Avenue Food for Less every once in a while.
Really?
All right, everybody. You good to go, bud?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
What are we covering? Good.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
What are we covering next week? What do we want to do? That pretty much takes care of the defense now. We did the linebackers and defensive front line 2 weeks ago. Then we did the draft last week, 2 weeks ago. Last week we were on live for the show, for the draft.
Right. So defense covered. O-line was next.
Yeah, special teams too.
Do we do O-line yet? They'll do O-line.
We haven't done anything on the offense yet.
Oh, that's right. It was all, okay,
we'll figure it out.
The special teams could be not that.
Special teams, we can combine it with something else. I want to do a Hall of Fame one too. I want to do one where we just discuss all the Hall of Famers.
Sounds good.
Maybe not next week, but we'll look out for the notification for when we're coming on next week at some point. So
you can combine receivers and running backs so they're skills position. Receivers and tight ends together. Special skills,
I'll tell you what, everybody that's in the chat, once we sign off, post something in the comments. Tell us what you'd like to see us cover. Now, we've already done all the defense, so defense is over. Yeah. We've done Al Davis. We've done head coaches. We covered the draft history for the Raiders. So basically, we have all the offensive side to do, and eventually Hall of Famers and whatever else we can come up with going forward.
Special thing can be thrown in mix between those, but yeah.
Give us homework to do. How's that?
Yeah, make us think for a change. I'm tired. Sometimes I get tired of thinking. I just shut my brain down. The greatest Raiderette. Figure Jason down, you will say something like that. But Fun fact about the Raiderettes. The Raiderettes are the oldest one. No, the oldest. I wish I was one, to be honest with you. Shit. I get to go to free games, home games. The Raiders were the
you also have boobies. You just play with your own boobies.
Well, back then they were flat chested. So anyway, they were one of the oldest cheerleading teams squad in the NFL, the AFL too. So back then they care about the boobies. It was all about the legs.
Frank Weber says, thanks for a great show tonight, guys. I really enjoyed this one a lot. Can't express how much. Really, really appreciate it. Oh, thank you. We appreciate you guys, man.
Thank you, Mr. Frank Weber.
Again, we're not doing this for Chris and I to have, we're doing this for you guys. I mean, that's what this is all about. Giving
it's all about the Raider Nation fan base.
For the masses. Right, Chris?
Yeah, it's all about you guys. But it's all, that's why I'm on YouTube, because I want to interact with the fan base and nation and everybody. I want to talk to you guys. So it's not for now. I'm not doing to get clicks and likes. Now, like I said, I like to have those, but I'm not doing just for that sole reasons. I'm doing it to talk to the nation, like some other guys.
Having a blast doing it, and I love every minute of it. And I love doing shows with you, Chris.
I'm glad I met you, man. So that because we have our fun, but sometimes you get on my goddamn nerves.
Me? What do I do? I'm a nice guy.
That's it. That's it right there. You just did right there. That's what gets on my nerves. Mr. Innocent. Mr. Innocent. Nah, I'm just kidding. Man, I enjoy doing shows.
Thanks, man.
Okay, I enjoy doing shows.
What's up, brother? Oh, gotta get into one last plug before we shut down for the night. Dunkin' Donuts. See, that was a full coffee at the start of the show, so. I run on Dunkin'. I need to say.
Well, see, I was gonna say something. I'm gonna be nice tonight.
You actually skip going to the movies with your wife to listen to us two talk for 2 hours? You're fucking crazy. The old lady ain't happy. She had to go to the movies by herself tonight. I wasn't missing this one. Damn.
Yeah, Frank. Good luck.
Yeah. I hate to be you laying around when she
by the way, me and Radio Nation Jason have a new logo, a new screen, a name, and everything else. Thanks to Mr. Frank Weber. He's trying to think of a name for our show. Mr. Frank Weber gave it to us.
What is it? You don't even know the name of your own show?
You'll see tomorrow. You'll like it. I know what it is, but you'll like it. Pull up and you'll see a name.
Jason, this is like a 2025 version of Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm Danny Glover.
Yeah, and I'm Mel Gibson. Didn't Randy
Chris, guess what? Guess what, Chris? It's time to go.
I think it is. I'm getting tired. I'm hungry. Hey, guys, thanks for joining us.
Salute Raider Nation.
Yes, sir.
Stay safe. And one more thing. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.